that lane, and you go down one block and you can take a right.
So let's go.
And there's some beautiful palaces with these internal courtyards. We're in the Strozzi Palace. Their courtyard is free and open to the public, so you're certainly welcome to come on in and have a look. You can walk in a door on one side and walk out a different door on the other side as you continue along on your journey. One block over is the Piazza della Republica. This area used to be a bustling center of medieval and Renaissance Florence until it was all knocked down in a misguided 19th century urban renewal project. Well, after maybe a half an hour of wandering through these lanes, you will arrive at the Piazza della Signoria, the town's other major square, with its many statues and cafes, and the massive architecture of the Palazzo Vecchio looming above, the center of political power for 700 years, and still the City Hall of Florence. The outdoor markets keep going all day, and you are right next to one of the best, so take some time to shop in the colorful Straw Market, also called the New Market, although it's 500 years old, just one block from the Piazza della Signoria. The great Duomo Cathedral, which was the tallest building in Europe when it was finished in 1434, and is still the world's fourth largest church. The 500-foot-long cathedral was an immense achievement of the medieval masons who invented new construction techniques as they worked, creating Europe's largest building. In front of the church, the Piazza del Duomo has two more fascinating structures covered in similar multicolored marble: Giotto's bell tower and the baptistry. The most famous treasures of the baptistry are on the outer doors, where you can see them for free, especially the Gates of Paradise by Lorenzo Ghiberti, who worked on these early in the 15th century. They're on the side facing the Duomo, and they're very important for their early use of perspective. Next morning, we're up for a wonderful breakfast on the top floor of the Hotel Baglioni. great, and an added bonus is an outdoor terrace. We walk outside to the very top of the roof, and from here you get this fantastic view in all directions looking out at the rooftops of Florence. Nice place for a group photo as well, and this just makes a fun start to the day. You could even take breakfast out here if you wanted. It's quite a spread. They've got nice big tables. We can sit together. Eggs and bacon and sausage and rolls and fruits and juices and coffee for breakfast. Wow, what a start to the day. Have some cereal. You can eat as much or as little as you like at this buffet. And they have a fine restaurant in the evening for dinner as well, too. Many of the rooms at the hotel also have a view of the Duomo. And eating. It seems to never end here on World Traveler. They have got some delicious foods here at the hotel in the morning and some conversation with our fellow travelers. Have you seen that movie, Room with a View? In this elegant dining room setting. We're going to take the public bus to have a look at kind of the residential back streets of the city, the place where the real people live. And we're heading for a truly wonderful destination. It's across the river, crossing the Arno River, and we're going to go up the hill to Piazza Michelangelo. Well, this bus ride is short enough that it doesn't really matter if you're standing or sitting. You can still enjoy the view outside. This is one of the world's great panoramas, so it's worth the effort to get here. And it's really not hard to find it. It's really worthwhile. You could walk up here, but that's quite a hike and it's uphill. Instead, take the city bus. You'll be here in half an hour and you get this commanding view of the Duomo and the whole city spread out down below. It's a great spot for one of our group shots. The vista takes in the full span of Florence, spreading below you in a sea of clay tile roofs, punctuated by many domes and towers, bridges and hills framed in the background with the commanding presence of the great Duomo rising above it all. It only takes about 15 minutes to soak up the scene, but this brief expedition is most rewarding. And then it's really an easy walk back down to the city. You just go down the staircase. It takes about 10 minutes to walk down the staircase, and you end up at the bottom of the hill. And you go through this impressive gateway that was part of the old medieval wall that stretched around the city to lead you through a quiet, historic neighborhood of former Renaissance palaces, most of which are now apartment buildings. You'll be walking along in the cool, quiet shade of this narrow lane. It's quite a lovely contrast with the center of the city. And in a few blocks you reach the Arno River and gain the best view of the most famous bridge in town, the Ponte Vecchio. The Pitti Palace, the former home of the Medici ruling dynasty, was the largest residence in Europe before Versailles was built. The palace's Palatine Gallery has a small but important collection gathered in 6 main rooms that makes this an easy visit. The paintings are densely packed, hung one above the other in the old-fashioned way that reflects the original Medici system of showing off their art treasures. These dazzling images, surrounded by lavish golden frames hung on red velvet walls, provide almost too much stimulation. It's like a chocolate box wrapped in gold. But the main attraction is waiting above you in the ceiling murals by Pietro da Cortona, which are even more overwhelming than the paintings on the walls. The ceilings depict scenes from the life of a Medici, showing the education and maturity of the young prince, ending with his glorious apotheosis into heaven. On the walls you will enjoy masterpieces by Raphael, Rubens, Velázquez, Titian, Lippi, Perugino, Caravaggio, Van Dyck, Veronese, and many more. You have the option of visiting several more of the smaller galleries in this palace. Your visit includes 10 worthwhile rooms of the Royal Palace with many original furnishings. However, there are another dozen rooms of minor art along the courtyard that you can skip. In the 19th century, it was the royal home of the nation's king, Vittorio Emanuele II, when Florence was briefly the capital of Italy. Originally constructed for a wealthy merchant in the 1440s, designed by Brunelleschi, the Pitti family lived here for the first 100 years, and then it was taken over by the Medici, then the Dukes of Lorraine, and various noble families of Florence. Afterwards, it might be very pleasant for you to have a stroll in the Boboli Gardens, finding the various fountains and the cave-like grotto just at the rear of the palace. You could easily pass a pleasant hour in the gardens, and while you're on this side of the Arno, enjoy a stroll past art galleries, antique shops, ateliers, little piazzas, and of course, more restaurants. Well, when you're finished with Oltre Arno, walk back across the Arno River on the pretty Ponte Santa Trinita Bridge, which offers a fine view of the Ponte Vecchio, and a restored palace on the right that is the world headquarters of Ferragamo, with an elegant shoe shop on the ground floor